Hey everyone, it's FLAK Fire. The reveal trailer for Call of Duty Vanguard is here, and it's been pretty well received. Much more than one of the last AAA games that tackled the time period.
Hello, old friend.
But there are still a few things in the trailer that raise some eyebrows, or just don't make a whole lot of sense. I'll mention up front that I'm gonna neckbeard this pretty hard, but I'm actually excited for Vanguard, so let's jump into it. First up, let's start with what was probably the most egregious issue in the trailer, and I'm of course talking about the Sten submachine gun. This weapon was a bare-bones design made primarily of stamped parts and easy to produce. Over 4 million of these were made, but the one that's in the trailer would never have passed quality control. In fact, it's basically witchcraft. If you look closely, you'll notice that the bolt of the weapon recoils out the back of the gun. Now, that's physically impossible. The gun's design relies on spring pressure at the rear of the weapon to help cycle the action. Also, that'd hit you in the eyeball if you were aiming down the sight. Similarly, the Sten is never actually in battery. That's because the bolt is shown backwards. In the trailer, the bulk of the bolt faces the rear of the weapon. This also means that the weapon would not fire as constructed, as obviously the firing pin is pointing the wrong direction. This is an incredibly silly error and definitely one that should have been addressed before the final version of the trailer was released. Now, if you're worried about this problem making it into the game, I wouldn't sweat it. I'm sure that that's been addressed. Another problem is the Stuka in the trailer. I noticed a couple of things, and I'm not even an expert in aircraft. However, the folks behind the Military Aviation History YouTube channel are, and they had quite a bit to say. Basically, what you see here is a combination of a bunch of different Stuka variants. There's the old-style radiator from the B and R variant, the fuel tanks from the R variant, the Bordkanone from the D and G variants, the Jericho sirens that were mainly phased out after the B variant, plus it's toting a bomb that would not have been used at the same time as the gun pods. There's even an arrestor hook from an experimental naval variant here. All in all, it's a bit of a hot mess, but that's how video games work. If you want something to look cool, you just keep putting more stuff on it, right? Side note shout out, Military Aviation History publishing a book on the Stuka, so go check that out. The third issue are the German flags and armbands throughout the trailer. Obviously, Sledgehammer and Activision didn't want to use the swastika for the trailer reveal, which actually doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Insiders already confirmed that the game will not censor Nazi symbols, and if you're paying close attention, you'll notice the skull and crossbones symbol appears at some point in the trailer. None of that is really anything new. 2017's Call of Duty World War II didn't censor the swastika in the game's single-player campaign. Additionally, Germany lifted its restrictions on the appearance of the swastika in games years ago, and most countries don't regulate the symbol if it's used as part of the game or an artistic expression. Similarly, developers avoided the use of the rising sun flag in the game, opting instead for the Hinomaru. Both were used in wartime, though the former is definitely more controversial, especially in other Asian countries like China. I'll point out here, developers are using the period-correct American flag. Fourth is another weapon goof. The media team apparently fell prey to one of the classic blunders of video game trailers, forgetting the M1911 pistol is a single action. Pulling the trigger only drops the hammer. This is obviously problematic when the hammer remains uncocked after each shot in the trailer. Now, personally, I'm not knocking anyone for this. It's basically imperceptible unless you're going frame to frame like me for this sort of critique. It certainly doesn't ruin this cool moment, and I've definitely seen worse in some other trailers. For our last mistake, there's a bit of an issue with the Douglas SPD Dauntless dive bomber's cockpit. At first glance, everything here is pretty much spot on. Developers did an incredible job modeling the plane's interior, save for the issue that the controls are on the wrong side of the aircraft. Someone flipped this shot in the production trailer, so it would make logical sense based on the shots that preceded it. If I flip it back, it looks, admittedly, out of place. It's a great example where screen direction trumps accuracy, and quite honestly, you probably didn't even notice. Truthfully, most of these mistakes are incredibly minor, or they are an artistic decision. I'm actually impressed with everything developers got right, and frankly, it was a decent trailer, certainly more in tune with expectation than some other World War II games. But I'm curious what you think. Did you catch any of these errors? Did anything break the trailer for you? Or did you notice something I missed? Make sure to tell me down below in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, if not a dislike. Make sure to subscribe and tap the bell to get updates on the latest Call of Duty Vanguard videos. Although I'm typically a Battlefield channel, going to be following this one a bit closer as I love that kind of historical content. If you want to support the channel, keep your money, share this video. It goes a long way in helping me out. Or if you find yourself needing some new glasses, check out Gamer Advantage. I use these every day, and if you want to save 10%, use the code FLAK at checkout. As always, thanks for watching.